All right. Do we have any veterans here today? All right. Well, it's Veterans Day, so thank you very much for your service. We'll rise and do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here on Veterans Day. So we'll go ahead with the approval of the agenda. I do have an item to add to the agenda. So we'll need to add under new business appointment of new zoning official. So there's a resolution for that. We can put that under, well, she has ABF, that'd be ABC and D.
Yeah. Motion to approve the amendment.
And don't we have an amendment to the ordinance?
Yeah. The,
Yeah.
on the solicitation.
Yeah.
Make a motion to read in title only.
No, we're just adding to the agenda, the solicitation, the amendment. So,
It was, yeah, I mean, there's an ordinance amending solicitation ordinance that was prepared.
is that,
That be new business. So I don't see it on here.
we'll do that as item E. Ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not-
Everybody good with that? All right.
Motion to approve those two amended items.
I would like to add an executive session to discuss a personnel issue or wherever we want to do it.
I'll second that.
Well, we've decided where it's gonna go and Brian,
I'm assuming y'all are referring to Lacey. If that's the case, I've looked into this today. I don't think you all can go into executive session and discuss an action that's already occurred. Executive session, y'all could go back there and discuss an action that may occur regarding an employee, but because it's already occurred, I'm of the opinion that you cannot go to executive session for that purpose. You all certainly can discuss it and add it as an agenda item, but I don't think it's proper for an executive session.
We have before.
I don't know what we've done before, and I'm not working off the memory. I'm
No,
telling
no,
you,
I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, in anticipation of tonight, I've looked into that and I don't think that that would be appropriate.
I guess the question is, if the council wanted to reverse the termination, could they?
I don't think so. Number one, I have to go back and look, but I think all of the authority to hire and fire rests with the mayor, with the exception of department heads.
And I guess the other question would be, if we wanted to, and I don't know the council's opinion on this, I think we need to discuss what happened, but if we wanted to do a reorganization where a position reported to council, could we do that?
We could, yeah. I mean, there's more to it than that. Why don't you all just add that as an agenda item?
Okay.
Just in a general sense, and then we can
so item
discuss
F,
that.
under new business
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
discussion. That's first item.
I'll try 3 times. Anything else to be added? Make a motion to approve the amended agenda, those 3 items.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any public comment before we vote? All right, all those in favor?
All right.
So moved. All right, we have at this time a public input, 2 minutes. Anybody that wants to come to the podium and talk for 2 minutes, has questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes.
Ones are we doing? September 9th?
Well, we just received what 8 o'clock last night.
Well, no, the September ones we received just before the September meeting. So what we received last night was the October minutes.
One of them.
See, last night. This was September minutes. The only thing I saw was that, it says special session on the header, but it's not a special session.
I didn't see anything else in September. Make a motion to approve that amendment.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any public comment before we go? All those in favor? So carried. All right. Do you guys want to vote on the October minutes? I don't have those to pull up, but you guys should.
Didn't have a chance to read them, so.
We got them kind of short. I did get a chance to look at them today, but if nobody else had a chance to, then we can
Table.
table this.
We need to get.
Do we want to table this until next time?
Yes.
Okay, so someone will make a motion to table.
So maybe
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to table the October minutes. Any public comment before we vote? All right, all those in favor?
Aye. So we need to, staying on minutes for a second, we need to receive the minutes as is laid out in the structure of when we're supposed to receive them Thursday.
So I don't have oversight over the.
I'm
Let me speak for just a second. I'm addressing it. I don't have oversight over the recorder treasurer. If you'd like to address that to the recorder treasurer, you can do so. And Brian can weigh in on what his opinion is on that. So.
Is that your request,
Pardon me?
Thursday before?
That is what I believe is in the layout of minutes, that they are due the Thursday prior to the meeting.
So when you get your packet?
Yeah, I
That's
think that'd be
correct.
good. It's just so we can get them out for the,
That's how it's always been. As I recall, going back for 7 years.
Right.
Okay? Thank you.
We'll move on now to our financial report. Jerry, you can get with that.
Yes, the general fund was $1,011,983.71. That fund still holds, most of the funds for the building, so, that's still a little inflated from what the actual balance is with that restricted fund still in there. Street fund, 334,102.35. Police Act 988 fund was 12,253.28. State parks, 3,078.34. Farmers market, 43.38.41, and certificate deposits, 665,777.82.
And I'll just comment, the state park is also RDOT. And the state park, that's a combined.
Combined. For this report.
Do we have a motion to approve the financial report?
So move.
Wait a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the financial report. Any public comment before we vote? All right, all those in favor? So carried. We'll move on now to the reports. With the police department report. Jesse, are you doing it or do you get just to read it? I will read it. So it looks like there were 113 calls to service. So 16 charges, 15 moving, 1 criminal, 34 warnings, and 1 warrant. What is PACS PDP?
PCS and PDP is controlled substance and drug paraphernalia.
Okay. Any questions about it? I know Chief Travis, I think he's ill tonight, right?
Jesse, do you know, I know that y'all work on, kind of trending your calls. Is that, we do that quarterly? You know? Printing it so we can see what's going up, what's going down. Is that quarterly? Does that sound right?
That's what Jason used to do with it.
That's what he's saying.
I can make sure he has it for next, for the.
Just whatever the timing is, so we can keep an eye on it.
All right, next report is the infrastructure facilities management. So the city park finished building the walls with the stones on top of the stone wall that was created by the Eagle Scout project for the welcome sign. They've been brush hogging on the south side of the park around the chicken house pad, cleaned up the upper pond on the park, picked up 2 large brush piles at the north park entrance. On the roads, they installed street signs at Oxford Bend, cut down a dangerous overhanging tree on Hale, brush hogged fire tower in Hale, cleaned up rock pile at community building, spread grass seed and grass at the community building, built kennels for the dog and cat animal control. Not those welded ones that was done by somebody else. We had some movable kennels that they put together. And then the future projects, patch the edge of pavement on Lyman, continue installing signs for the streets, paint newly installed kennels for the animal control services, which they've started on, continue trimming overhanging trees in the city streets, seal and clean the concrete on Oxford Bend Bridge and Blue Springs Bridge. And this is just some pictures of them out walking. This was the dead tree. They removed much of the limbs off of it. Any questions about that?
Probably so. Yeah, thank you. Bench. Was there one of the rows of hail had been paved?
No, we don't have any roads. We don't have any roads being paved right now.
Nothing.
No, we have culverts that are all being replaced. So there's a bunch of culverts right now that are, he did work on Fire Tower first, and then Hale is right now, they've been replacing culverts on Hale. And I think they're going to Lyman next, and then I don't know where the other ones are. I'd have to look at the map. Oh, I think there's some on Sharp or something that they're gonna replace as well. So. All right. We go on to the fire department. Actually, I don't have a fire department report, so. Fort Goshen Fire District. Planning Commission.
Emailed one.
Yeah, it should be attachments in a different place. I think she put them, was on the first distribution she sent, email.
Yes.
We got like 3 emails. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's in the first one. There's a salary one, there's the packet download, and then there's the fire department one I thought today.
Well, and what I can see then, if that's the case, the one that we received yesterday, the update,
I've got it pulled up if you just want to read
and
it.
then there was that, and there was the salary. Okay, none of those 3 things are in here.
So what I'm reading from policy mail, because I didn't have it in my packet. So we've got the fire, 3 counts for fire, 2 building fires, out rubbish fire was 1, 19 rescue emergency medical incidents, 16 were medical assist, EMS crew, 3 motor vehicle accidents with no injuries, carbon monoxide incident 2, 511 lockout 1, that was a service call, good intent call 10, dispatch canceled en route. And then they had false alarms 3, total of 45. Thank you.
Excuse me, may I ask a question? Is it appropriate or?
Yeah.
In regarding the fire department report, does that apply just for the city of Goshen? Because I've asked this numerous times. Have they broken it down just for the city, or is this for the surrounding area all the way to Joyce?
I believe it's everything.
It's everything that they're responsible for, I believe, Bernadette,
Can we ever get a report just for this area?
for the city
Yeah,
proper.
right.
I can ask to see if they can break it out that way.
And does anybody know all the sirens that have been going by the last week? I mean, it's been endless. Port Elkin. It's been on Facebook and people have made comments about what in the world is happening.
I haven't heard.
I have,
I've been out of town for the last week and a half.
Sorry, I don't have any information on that. Planning Commission report, let me get back over to the reports. So we're fees collected for 2025, 1,200. And that's been the same, so. Nothing new for this month. Right. I think the next is our building inspection report, JD.
During the month of October, I did 27 field inspections, which is about average. I went to Rogers Thursday after the last meeting, attended 8 hours of state plumbing certification, and went to Fort Smith the following Thursday for 8 hours of International Association of Electrical Engineers electrical training. Any questions?
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you, JD. Any other questions? All right, now we're up to the parks report. Lenny?
The Parks Committee participated in the trunk or treat here at the community building where we introduced a park survey. We handed out candy and answered any questions about the current and upcoming projects of the park. The north entrance sign bed was planted. All the plants are done now with that. Day Crown, Mike and Cheryl Nemo and Mayor Stroud planted all the stuff for that. It looks really nice. I think he showed a picture of it earlier. The city of Goshen was awarded an RDOT grant for the phase 2 of the ADA trail. This will connect the current phase 1 that is in process right now to the current or the future project of the pavilion. It will connect the two. It was a $247,000 grant, I think. So that will be exciting.
that,
Say that again.
We have a 20% match on that.
20%.
And 247, I believe, is the actual grant amount. So the total
Right,
grant
so-
is 308,000, I think, was the total grant. So our match portion will be 50,
50,
right at 50.
50 something, yeah. Okay.
Congratulations. Who was involved on that?
That was a grant that we proposed last year and then resubmitted, but Mayor Stroud did a lot of that work. Abby did a lot of that work, and we did a lot of the work as far as going out and talking to the public and getting the points for the actual community services. So all of us,
Very nice.
Well done.
we are currently working on revising the map for the park with updates of the new trails that will go in, future pavilion project, as well as the disc golf course layout and the future archery range. So hopefully when everybody visits the park, it will be up to date as it is not right now, but it soon will be. We will be opening bids up for the pavilion, I think next week. I think
No,
it's
we'll be sending out
yeah,
bids next week and then the following weekend. Just go out for 2 weeks.
the pavilion. Is there anything else? Mike has been cleaning up a lot around the chicken pad, helping out with those, the city workers, and removing the dead trees that were, invasive to the trails. Is there any questions?
So we'll get bids.
At the
In
December
The
meeting.
December meeting, we'll be able to open bids.
Yep,
Okay.
for the pavilion.
And we did get a final plan together for that,
Yeah.
or?
We have the architectural,
Yeah,
so
well-
NBL is the architect group that's doing it. We went over it on Monday. We did the final, all the very specific stuff, like types of lumber, lighting, all that stuff. Jerry and I went down there, met with them on Monday and went through all of that. Yeah.
I know that there was the first option and then that became too cost prohibitive and then, so
Right.
this is Plan B.
Yep.
Or C.
So this was the more detail of basically getting everything nailed down exactly that it needed to do for safety and code and,
To meet all of our ADA
Right,
requirements as well. Move on to our whole business. Get that pulled up. So we've got our revised schedule of fees. If you guys had a chance to look at those. I'm just gonna pull up the one that is 165. So, from last meeting, there were a lot of different requests, and so what we did was we went back and tried to honor those requests by putting in a couple of different options for the council to look at. So one of those options is looking at, because one of the things that, we had talked about was we had several of the contractors coming in and saying, this is what we think the estimated cost will be, but it was way under what we could calculate because of what we use as our cost per square foot. So we've left the numerator exactly what it is. We haven't gone up at all. And then we have just adjusted the cost per square foot. And so if we're looking at the cost per square foot, you guys have options. You can do the option where it's 165, 175. So whichever is the one that, you guys want, that's the one we can adjust to. And Paula did find a couple of errors that I've corrected in this. The first error on the total permit fees is going to be under this uninsulated, unheated structure fee. That should say up at the top, 0 at the line just under there where we say fee multiplier, it should be 0.00228 in that section. And then everything else down below should be correct with the exception of, nope, that's right. That's on page 2 of 4. So if you're looking at total square footage, you could, we could go.
What page, is that page 3?
No, it's under page 2, but it's either 175 per square foot and then 250 per square foot for commercial. Or if you wanted to go less than that, you could go 165 per square foot and then 240 per square foot for commercial. And that would be bringing our price per square foot up, but keeping our numerator the same. So the fees don't go up as much. I think it's a pretty good compromise. You just would need to decide which one of those numbers you want to go with.
It looked like the 165 represents about a 13.4% increase, roughly about $283. Call it 284. And then the 175 would be a 19.3% increase, would represent about a $480 increase. And that's based upon 3,796 square feet at 645,256. Try to do the analysis based upon where we kind of started.
Yeah.
Back in September to October and kind of with this proposal. So appreciate putting both of those together. I mean, best I can tell, really out of the new proposal though, the plan review, unless something's different, the plan review was cut from the September and October proposal.
No, the plan review's always been in there.
The way the plan review's been in there, but the way it's calculated. So now it produces a lower amount. Based on square footage.
Oh, but yeah, so it's
Based on
less.
square footage.
Yeah.
Not using the higher base
Yeah.
number.
So Sean, from your knowledge, what you're intimate with it, your family is 165 square, 175 square on the line.
I believe that wherever your base starts, right, for the calculation, you've got to have some way to go back and make sure that the city's protected and somebody's not giving up fictitious nothing. So, I know from a sales standpoint right now, if you're looking.
Sean, I can't hear you out here.
Okay. From a retail standpoint, right now, I believe like 285 is kind of the number that I'm seeing out here. Tiny town, you need more than 300 plus now. So step one. That's from a retail standpoint. That's not going to cost. Right.
And we had a pretty wide variety of costs when we looked at what builders are, quoting. I mean, all the way from, you can get builder quotes all the way down to like 115 to 120, and then all the way up to 220, 230 square foot. So it's hard because if you're building like a Roush Coleman subdivision, that cost per square foot is very different than if you're building a custom home. We don't really have any of those type of track, lots here that we're building in right now. So our cost is typically more. And I did look at the cost of that sheet that I brought last time. And even if we go at 175, we would still be under what they had actually put in as what they had estimated their cost to be on both Jerry's and both of your son's homes. So I'm okay with 165, 175. You guys can decide. I don't really have a preference.
I have a few comments on a few other permit items that are on the other pages there too. Let's see here. We have on the last page, all of the kind of miscellaneous permits. And on that, we have city right of way and utility permits. But that to me is still not worded quite right because I think this is only applying to, whenever utilities are accessing and cutting into city right of ways. If that's what that permit is for, like it's not just a general utility permit. So, and utility permits, this sounds like we're trying to do a permit for every single utility out there, the way it's worded.
That's what she's saying. Instead of like a road cut.
Right, instead of like, because that's what it's for, is road cuts, correct, right? So, we just need to word that so it doesn't sound like we're applying a permit to every single utility that ever shows up on the face of the earth. So, we can say permits for utilities being constructed only in city right of way. Something like that.
So just add that.
Permits for utilities being constructed in city right of way or only in city right of way. Because that's the only thing we're really addressing with that permit, isn't it?
We don't have anything to do with county.
Right.
Strictly city.
And we all know also with the fireworks permit application, we all know that fireworks permit application is for people when they want to do fireworks outside of the allowable times for the city as allowed by our ordinances resolutions presently. But the way it says there, it sounds like everybody has to go out and get a fireworks permit, even during our 4th of July period when we allow it.
Grace period.
So, we just need to add a,
So
right, so just add
fireworks
a
permit application outside
outside of,
the open fireworks time.
Exclusive of.
and then the other thing with this is that, we're trying to get all our fees into this, but then on our accessory dwelling permit or anyhow, whenever we do the accessory dwellings, right? We've got that new resolution. It has permit numbers in it that they will be paying a permit fee of X, whatever it was, that's actually in that resolution.
In that ordinance.
And that ordinance. So
I think the only one that's in that ordinance is the one that's mandated by the state. Because there's
actually state mandated.
There's a cap.
there's a cap on it, the ADU. The ADU's got a cap by the 313 legislation that made
For a building permit.
just for the ADU portion, just
Just for the
the
ADU.
1,000 square foot or less.
If
Yeah.
it's an ADU, there's a cap.
It's not gonna be-
On the fee,
We
right?
can't change
We
We
can't
can't change that.
Right.
it.
So I understand that, but
We should be lower than that.
we can lower that,
Yeah.
but I guess the way it reads is that they're paying that fee, not. I just don't know if we need to add something to our permit fee schedule that captures that rather than having yet another fee that we have to go back and look at again that's in that ordinance.
Well, that's just a statement.
Yeah, that's the state mandate, but the state mandate fee though says we don't have to charge them that. That's just the maximum.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed.
Yep.
So the wording though in the ordinance resolution there, it sounds like that's a fee that we're going to assess, not that's a maximum fee that they pay.
That is what we're gonna assess.
But if we're assessing that fee, do we need to put it in our fee schedule?
Well, we don't have ADUs in our fee schedule.
Right, that's what I
But
mean.
that's,
we
but the
need to-
ADU statement that it be would be in that ordinance. I mean, we could add it to this if you wanted to add it.
Should be in this fee schedule.
And we can add it
I mean,
in the fee
and
schedule.
if it's-
It's a straight fee.
If it's in the, but if that, are we billing the person building that or that fee, and then they're also paying the additional, all the other construction fees that are.
No, if it's an ADU, if it's just an ADU, they just pay that fee.
They just pay that fee for is that for the, and that's for the plan review, or is that for plan review plus?
I don't, I'd have to pull up the
inspection and
ordinance, but
everything
I don't know that we even have a plan review for that one.
So,
Well, we have to have a
review-
plan review, but the plan review is to make sure that the setbacks and all of the other requirements are met.
but those are the same things that we do for every other building. So I guess that's the plan review fee. So then do all the other regular fees for structures apply as far as the,
Or is that the only?
or is that
That's the only fee I think that we can charge for an ADU. We can't do a plan review fee.
well, no, that we just said
It's
that.
not worded that
that's- Yeah,
way.
so the wording needs to be,
Are you pulling up the state statute?
so but anyhow, what I'm trying to get to is that, we need to put that, that fee, I think we need to include that in our fee
Schedule?
schedule and have it so it's clear that if they're creating an access, the extra dwelling unit, that's either the only thing they're paying or that's their plan review fee, and then they also have to pay all the other inspection costs as well.
So the proposed ordinance says all applicants shall be required to pay all permit fees as set forth by city council. Period. Additionally, an applicant for an ADU shall be required to pay a plan review fee in the amount of $250. That's the point.
Yeah,
And the act refers to it as an application fee, which says it shall not exceed $250 for each accessory dwelling unit.
So that's what we can
It
charge.
says that a
That's it.
municipality may require a fee for reviewing applications to create accessory dwelling units. And then it's a cap of $250.
but that doesn't address building.
So you bill with 250 and it covers everything.
Well,
It says,
the
it
250
says that this does not prohibit a municipality from requiring its usual building fees in addition to the application fee.
Okay.
So it's a review fee that we have to cap. We can't exceed $250. We can charge our normal building fees outside, and that's what it says.
So it sounds like we need to put in another line item. We've got residential building plan, we've got commercial building plan. Sounds like we need to add
So under plan review fee, just do ADU.
I
ADU,
think here, residential, you need to put probably,
put a excluded.
yes, excluding ADUs.
Right,
And then it would have to be a standalone plan review fee.
or do we need to word it as an application fee, since that's what it says in the
Well,
statute?
Do you need to put anything about the cap in there also, since you're gonna put it in there?
Well,
no,
we
it's
just
in the
put-
ordinance on the ADU ordinance. So that's addressed. We would just need to, on
We
the fee
just have a
schedule.
different
needs to
fee
comply
schedule.
with that.
We just have like a separate title down below the commercial, or actually below residential, that says ADU, 250 feet, flat fee.
But this is gonna be part of this overall summer we're talking about. Okay? But will they know when they're looking at that summer that there's a cap on that part of it? If we're gonna combine it all into one, even though it's the
No,
ordinance. is
no,
out
we're
there.
not combining it all into one, as far as
I mean, put
this
it
is,
into
this is their plan review fee, but then as it says, they still have to pay all of the other
Exactly.
inspection fees and building fees and everything else. So that's the cap is only on the plan / application review fees.
So you just basically added a line item.
Yeah. Saying ADU, 250 review, plan review fee. And then we will exclude that into the residential building plan review fee.
Yeah.
Excluding ADUs. That is a good point. That way it is more clear.
Because we need to, have it clear and concise. If we're trying to get it all on one fee schedule,
Yeah.
let's get it all there.
Anything, and I did see that Paula also found some mistakes on our calculations of the pool fees. So if you turn to page 3 of 4, for swimming pool construction fee, 5,000 to 50,000. The first 5,000 carries that $85. So you have to add that back in, which brings it from 225 to 310. So that section where it says $50,001, the permit fee is 310, not 225. And then if you carry it over to the second bullet there, 101,000, that would be 510. And that 510 would carry down for that example on that number 1 under first example, for example, the 510, and then that second number would be 660. Everybody see that?
In most pools, I mean, you're gonna have a tough time building a $50,000 pool.
So I've got all those changes noted. We can make all of those changes. Do we want to? Oh, this was the calculations for up there. Sure. Price per square foot was on this. So Jerry's was 182. This one's 189. This was 162, and that was 187. So I figured 165 or 175 would be well below that. So
That's all you got, Paul.
I think so.
I think I would lean towards 175. That's still under what's being submitted. And that gets them closer than 165, my opinion.
what you guys, let's discuss it.
I don't know that y'all necessarily need to make that decision tonight. The ordinance to make the changes and us adopt the new fee schedules up for just a second reading tonight. So we can do that, have these changes made, bring it back with the options once again, and y'all can vote on it. So it would be my suggestion.
Do you want me to bring both of those back
Then we'll have everything
fixed? Yeah.
fixed.
So
And we'll have some of the other things that we didn't receive.
is there anything else you guys want me to add or change or move or? Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Well, we're not there yet. I
Not for this.
think on your agenda, you've got revised schedule and then you've got the resolution, which you all need to table that. That's not,
But do you need a motion to bring back the revised schedule fees with those changes? We can do option. No, let's just work through. I make a motion to table the resolution adopting the revised schedule.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any public comment before we vote? All right, all those in favor? Thank you. Now we're on to the ordinance, the second reading of the ordinance. 68. Repealing 168.
Make a motion, suspend the rules and reading title only for the second reading.
So a motion and a second to read the title only. And suspend the rules. Any public comment before we vote on that? All right, roll call vote.
Paula Anderson?
Yes.
Walter Martin?
Yes.
John Mayfield?
Yes.
Curtis Vaughn?
Yes.
John Valencourt?
Yeah.
Rich Wright?
Yes.
an ordinance repealing ordinance number 168 and adopting new procedures for approval of permit fees in the city of Goshen to declare an emergency and for other purposes.
All right, our second reading.
Motion to approve the reading?
So,
So a motion to approve the reading in a second. Any public comment before we vote? Roll call vote.
Paula Henderson?
Yes.
Walter Martin?
Yes.
John Mayfield?
Yes.
Curtis Vaughn?
Yes.
John Valencourt?
Yes.
And Rich Wright?
Yes.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the ordinance regulating accessory dwelling units.
Had a couple of things on this. Do we need to, is it Act 313? Do we need to say state legislature Arkansas Act or something, you know, or, I don't know.
why don't we,
You want to
let's read it
read it?
and then that way we
Okay.
can open up for discussion.
All right, I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and read in title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to read in title only. Any public comment before we vote? All right, roll call vote.
Paul Anderson.
Yes.
Colt Martin,
Yes.
Sean Mayfield.
Yes.
Curtis Vaughn,
Yes.
John Valencourt,
Yes.
Bert Wright.
Yes.
An ordinance regulating accessory dwelling units, secondary dwellings, secondary structures, and accessory structures in the city of Goshen, Arkansas, and for other purposes. So, yeah,
So, is it Act 313? Do we need to say Arkansas Act 313 or something to just designate that it's coming from above?
Okay.
I don't know how you wanna. And then section 1. We have the Goshen Municipal Code Title 14 is hereby amended by adding chapter 14 as follows. Are we completely adding chapter 14? Is this a whole new edition or are we amending actual chapter 14? Because it's
Amended by adding.
right. And so it's kind of a conflict in wording there.
it looks like it's a new chapter. And
It's
we're amending Title 14
Title 14.
by adding a new chapter. So, yeah.
Well, should we say adding, but it's a chapter within,
It's within Title 14,
okay, so.
but we do not have a Chapter 14 currently.
We don't have a chapter 14 current.
That's
So we
correct.
title.
It's been reserved, but this
Okay.
would be
Okay.
it. So, yeah, that would be accurate, the way that's stated.
Okay, because it just sounded kind of contradictory, but if that is, okay, and then. Let's see here. The. Let's see here. Accessory dwelling unit. So. It's saying that an accessory dwelling unit cannot be more than 1,000 square feet. Is that correct as far as what we?
That's correct.
Okay.
Well,
That's the state statute on
if it's more than 1,000 square feet, it is no longer an accessory dwelling unit.
Well, all right, this is what I
So
want to
we're
make
not-
sure.
the city's not as restricted at that point.
And I just want to make sure that it was reading the way it was supposed to read there. And then the section 6 on the fees. So again, I don't know if we want to, we need to have our language here match our language that we have on our fee schedule would be my suggestion. Right? Because here we're saying plan review fee in the amount of
That is-
$250. And so is that the exact
That's the
wording
same.
we're gonna have on there?
Yeah, because it'll be our ADU
Yeah.
plan review.
Okay. So that should be on schedule. And then, I guess the next thing is in section 14.10, we have the short-term rentals. But is that something we allow in the city? Because I didn't think we did.
That was I'll do it.
Yeah.
That was discussed, or the question came up.
Mhm.
This is in here mainly just as a placeholder for
For when you
when
guys
we
decide you want.
have an ordinance adopted. So that's why we added just the words in effect.
Yep.
Currently, there are none.
Yeah.
So. I guess it was the last one we had that was, again, just making sure that was what we wanted. It's a placeholder then.
That came up with planning commission as well. I think it said something besides effect, but then.
It didn't have that. It would just said,
Ordinances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just still, it almost sounds like we've already approved short-term rentals. But I don't know, have we?
well, we could add comma, if any, at the
Yeah.
end.
There's something to kind of, because here it sounds like we're like, well, it's okay to do short-term rentals, but
Or if allowed.
But we don't have any ordinance preventing them.
we don't.
No.
I didn't know if we did.
So we do allow it by statute if we don't
Just
have
by
any
default.
ordinance preventing them. So if we did pass an ordinance that dealt with short-term rental, then at that point, this would be in effect. So,
Could we put if allowed in here?
but it's currently allowed because
There's
we don't have an ordinance.
Nothing.
There's nothing in place. It's not-
This allowed.
yeah.
He stated, or the reason behind this, as I understand it, is just if and when you all adopt any ordinances that govern short-term rentals, this is just acknowledging that these ADUs are subject to those as well.
Correct. Yeah, public.
Can you give me like a abridged version of what are you defining as a short-term rental?
So I think it's anything less than 30 days when someone's renting. Is that correct, Bob?
That's
Statute?
correct.
So
So-
are you referring to Airbnb?
That would be
Yeah.
a short-term rental. Yeah.
You know you have them, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see a lot more with the restrictions in Fayetteville. People will start moving outward this way, because they're capped. So it's extremely difficult to get a short-term business license within Fayetteville. They're capped at 475. The thing is full, you'll be on a wait list forever and ever. So people will start moving outside of the Fayetteville. Yeah. Mhm.
Any changes from you all to this? We have to adopt this by, or have it in place by January, so ideally, bring this back in December, we can waive or you all could vote to waive the third reading, and we could adopt it in December.
There's a clause at that point.
Yes. So I've got one change, just to clarify where this act is coming from, but no other changes. All right, we'll get that fixed and brought back so that y'all can approve that reading, please.
Make a motion to approve the reading.
So I guess
We have a motion to approve the first reading. In a second, any public comment before we vote? All right, roll call vote.
Holly Anderson.
Yes.
Paul Martin.
Yes.
Sean Mayfield.
Yes.
Curtis Vaughn.
Yes.
John Valencourt.
Yeah.
Rich Wright.
yes.
We can move on to the budget. I'll pull up the general fund budget. You guys have had a chance to look at it. You guys have any questions about it?
Just on the budget that they gave us, it says January through December, but it's actually October for the range of numbers there,
Year to date.
year to date.
Oh, the year
Yeah.
to date. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So
Looks like central EMS was going up by 20%.
Birch and I know that well. In those meetings.
We're part of the interlocal. We have no choice. Yeah. I mean, I guess we could say no, then we don't have ambulance.
Yeah.
And we're probably, Mayor, keep me honest, I think we're probably the lowest contributor
Oh,
in the interlocal by.
Yeah.
Washington County pays an enormous amount because it's all the area. They will buy in.
What keeps them from the fire department not bringing those in like some of the other areas, like a Springdale or Rogers?
I wouldn't say it's a exclusive agreement, but it's pretty much an exclusive agreement. I mean, part of that interlocal. That's why Springdale. Loved it.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, I can't name them all, but it's Farmington, almost like Lincoln. With us out here.
Yep. What's the rating?
And all the mayors sit on that executive council.
I had a question on page 3 with the contract labor.
Oh, 3.
Yeah. I guess we're lower year to date right now, but did that contract labor for this year also include Saturday pay for the recycling?
It does. It includes Saturday pay for the recycling,
Right.
housekeeping, and then we also do some contract labor for electrical stuff that we've had to have repaired, or Raymond sometimes will do handyman work for us. It's contract labor. Give us a time.
I just, yeah, I didn't know if, so I guess I'm wondering, should we actually see a smaller number there since we're not doing Saturday recycling anymore?
So we still pay him because he still has to take the cardboard trailer in.
Oh, okay.
So that is still it's still gonna be there. And we anticipate with the added rental of the community building, we have more cleaning fees associated with it. So that's why that went up some.
Well, have it as the same. I just wanted to see if we were saving
Oh,
anything
right.
with that.
Well, and that's because we're still gonna need that much.
Wanted to kind of check into that. Let's see here.
It's a good question. We tossed that around. That was one of the things in our executive finance committee. We talked about whether we should change that just based on where we are now. But because we know we're gonna have more rentals,
Yeah,
then
no,
we know
and
that's probably
December,
gonna go up.
November, December is big for cleaning the community center after people come in and use it, so.
Yeah.
And then our ordinance codification, are that still that we're
That's-
looking to spend that money next year instead of this year?
We pay it every year.
Right, every year? Okay.
Yeah. So that's for muni code. That's just the maintenance on it. So like
Is
any
it-
ordinances, they're updated, then they go back in, they have to change that.
But it just doesn't show that we paid it this year, so I was just,
I think it's because we paid the bulk of it in the end of 2024,
okay.
because that's when we finally got it all, I guess, codified and loaded and ready on the website. So
So we.
I could ask Sean about that, but I think that's why.
And then
And she did combine a couple of things to make things
Yeah.
more
Yep.
streamlined.
The tech and labor, because I know we're looking for,
Where?
so
Technology and software.
technology, software services. I know those were combined,
Which page?
page 4.
Okay.
We've got technology and software services on page 4. And then we also have our expense for upgrading with our new website on another page.
Yeah, that's separate because that's gonna be capital
Separate.
improvement.
So I'm just wondering if we can possibly, consolidate any of that somehow so that once we get through that website upgrade, if we can somehow see less cost in future years to come.
So there's two different things here. So
Yeah.
the website creation and development is one separate fee. We don't anticipate it's even gonna be what we have there. We're thinking in somewhere between 5 and 10. But again, until we get in there and he builds it or she or whoever builds it out, then we're not gonna know for certain. So we put a little bit of a larger number because we're not certain.
You said last month, it could be 5 to 30, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but we really don't think it's gonna be anywhere close to
That
that.
20-year mark.
Yeah. So we're thinking it's probably gonna be somewhere between 5 and 10. But I can't tell you 100% because they won't give you a specific number until they get into it and see what all we're getting done. But that's gonna be really a one-time fee. So that's gonna be done and then they set it up and then so that's separate from our IT software technology because that's like the company, network services group that does all of our firewall and backs up all of our servers and
I mean, I understand that, but I guess part of, we've got IT services / website, how much of it?
because we
IT
pay for right now a
services
website through
website.
Wix.
So are we going to go to something that is not Wix?
We are, that's the
And-
plan.
So I don't know, I'm just wondering how that might change those numbers, or if we know how that might change those numbers.
I don't think it's gonna change those numbers on that much because Wix and the other, I guess the service that, and I don't have it in front of me, but it's a different, Jerry, do you remember the name of that program that they use for the other website?
No, I do not.
All of the companies we talk to about website services, they use the same platform. It's the same type of web service provider for hosting your website. And so that we talked to two different ones and they recommended the exact same thing. So, but the cost on it shouldn't be much different than what we're paying for Wix now on that part of it after we get it built.
I just wanted
And we'll still be able to maintain our own website as far as the day-to-day, the most of the functioning of like things we have to put on. like all of the, if there's new ordinances or if we want to, put things on that to update, we can do that, through the office. So someone will be trained to do that.
And I guess also along that line, we're saying that, that technology and software services is 16.5. But if you add what it was from our previous budget, which is the 15,000 for IT services website, and then software licensing is 2,900. If those numbers are still correct, that's 17,900 instead of 16,500. I said no.
I don't see what number you're talking
So
about.
if you look at our 2025 budget column,
Mhm.
and we've got software licensing, which is 2,900. And so that plus your IT services website.
Yeah, but
is
we've
gonna be-
already spent the money for software licensings. It's not gonna cost 2,900, it's
It's not
18,
gonna cost
20,
29.
49.
Okay,
That's
so,
it.
and so you're anticipating the actual year-to-date numbers are what is going to be the proposal for technology software.
Yeah, so on the 26 budget proposal, we have 0 there.
Yeah.
So that has been moved
Right.
up.
But I was just looking at the proposed budget for 2025, but if we've already actually met that expenditure.
Yeah.
Of the 18.
We realized that
See.
we
Yeah.
were a little bit over budgeted on it.
Okay.
So-
And then the
Right.
IT services website. Okay.
So that's why we've pulled it back
Your
some.
concern is actual this year is 1,400
Right.
more than
Right.
what's budgeted next
Right.
year.
So,
Yeah.
We realize it.
but if we've already realized it, then we're good.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then, let's see here. Page 7. Looking at, let's see here.
Yeah, this is where all the capital
Yeah,
expenditures
The capital
are.
expenditure, so, park. I guess just our park improvements. We
So
have a blank spot there, so I don't know.
So we moved that to
Operating expense.
operating expense, yeah.
So it's back into that.
Because it's not really a line item for our annual budget. That's an item that is, we approved that long ago for a grant match, so. I mean, you'll see, we came in way under budget because we did move that because it's really not it's not a fiscal responsibility. It is one of those annualized that we recognize. It's one of those extraordinary, but we are going to be coming in intentionally way under budget so that we can cover some of that and not have to worry about, operations. And then that way we've got money if we want to put money into CD so that when we pull that money out, we've got money to put back in the CD.
And then last page, the pavilion. The city obligation for the entrance pavilion, 132,000. That is. our city
So
obligation.
that is our current city obligation. And the reason why that's current is because before we can't do anything with state parks. If we want to get the full 207 at this point right now, the way it sits, because of the way we wrote our grant proposal, we have to spend $339,000. Now we can go in and amend the budget and end up not having to spend quite that much. But in order to get the full 207 as it sits right now, that's what we have to spend. Now, our property appraised for a lot more than what we thought or what they thought it was going to appraise for. So that could offset some of that to decrease that amount that we're going to need to pay.
I guess, outstanding, so we're not including that 132,000 though in the budget.
Correct.
So we're just having that as our obligation. It may get paid next year, it may get paid the next year after it's.
No, it gets paid next
It
year.
gets paid next year. I just am wondering, again, we've got surplus in the budget right now, but we kind of don't because that's not included.
Because that's not budgeted through an annualized budget. So that is an obligation that we made when we decided to apply for that grant. So that's operation expense that comes out of our actual funds that we keep in reserves. So the reserve funds that we have for CDs, the reserve that we have within the general fund, that's where that comes from. It's not an operations expense. Does that make sense?
I understand it.
Jerry has schooled me lots on these when we sit down in the finance committee and go through this and try to
the rationale for that being that way is that we're gonna probably come in probably $100,000 under budget this year. And we're gonna look at taking those monies and putting that money back in reserve to cover this. That way, it's not new money that we're gonna have to allocate out of the budget forward in 2026. So that's where that's why that's still hanging over there like that, because we can actually see the numbers. So, and another thing that came out of this budget thing, we are finally done with all of our commitments that we've made with grants. This is it. We're taking a step back and we through on the capital improvements and on the grant commitments that we are assessing until we get back some of the proceeds that we spent on improvement. So this is the final bit of this. So 26 should be going to 27. We should have no more obligations that the city has been obligated to under any grants or projects.
I'll still look for grants, but not where we have a copay.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the main topics.
So just a couple general comments. First, I want to thank the revenue committee. And we're projecting $1.1 million more in revenue,
Yes.
only $33,000 more in expenses. That's incredible. So just a couple of general questions. Permits and inspections, it's increased probably a third. You think that's gonna have to?
Absolutely. With the moratorium being lifted with Fayetteville Water, yep, people are gonna be building.
What we did there, we went back to 23 and 24. I looked at the numbers and compared those with the increase we had to 25 without the moratorium. We basically took an average and put that number in. So that number is not a new number for 26. That's an old number from 23 and 24.
When we didn't have the moratorium.
Exactly.
Only concern there though, that I would voice is no real tangible subdivisions that have gone.
Oh, that's what I was just gonna say.
Think about Riverside, think about Asher.
They're done.
I'm trying to go back.
Sure. Yeah, we will, that's what we call it, a working budget. We will adjust it as we move forward.
Because there's no land,
We have
big subdivision.
we do have Browning subdivision, which I think it's got 10 lots in
I
there.
think so.
So-
But again, and
I understand.
versus what were.
But generally, even when we had Asher, even when we had Riverside, we're only looking at 10 to 15 per year being built in those. So it's not like they got all built in one year. So yes, I understand what you're saying, but I do think we're still gonna see a pretty significant increase once we have Fayetteville Water again. So we have that other subdivision where there's those 4 homes and they're ready to build on those. They just need water taps. So right on 45. So
Yeah. City sales tax, about a 10% increase. Comfortable with
Yes,
that?
That's been our increase over the last several years. The city sales tax.
I can give you the update on that.
I know
Update.
something.
Go down under personnel, so that contemplates 3% increase. Plus, I think there's a couple that 3 to 5% just to get about the market value.
Yeah.
Just containing that number.
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
What page you on, Birch?
I just made some notes.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're looking at staff wages.
Yeah.
The 312,500.
Well,
Yep.
I
Administrative,
finish first.
administrative in the market now, Birch, is it going sub threes?
We still don't know what council hope's gonna cost us, we've got a number in there. Good call. The other question on that, Elkins court fees, so we will still have court fees.
Yes.
Because you'll still be having your
Use the
court
court,
over there,
So you're actually going there.
unless you want to build a court for us.
This looks like a good. Bench to me. Yeah, so Jesse, not to put you on the spot, looks like your costs are going down. Do y'all have what you need? For now. No unforeseen capital that we haven't captured already. Jerry, are we from a capital standpoint, did we,
I'm sorry.
from a capital expenditure standpoint, did we cover what we know about?
Yes,
The incinerator, that's just for drugs? Drug sensitive documents, whatever you can fit in the whole room.
Bessie's been waiting on this for 2 years.
You got all the stuff to shove in there and get rid of.
yeah, we'll be updating the asset listing come December, once we see what's out there. Don't anticipate any larger quotes. We've actually have closed out all of the old quotes we had, so there's nothing hanging out there that we were obligated for that has not been covered.
Help me remember, did we take off I think we held the liability for the construction company?
We did the
We
2,000.
We did.
Is that still in here?
No, we took that
We
out.
took it out. I think it was like $11,000. And it was something, yeah, and so it was being a little bit immaterial for what it was and how long it's been, so we took it out.
If it pops up, we
Yes.
can make adjustments.
We can make
Yeah.
adjustments.
And does the personnel cost include bonuses?
It does not. We need to, decide probably this month if we're gonna do bonuses again.
But it is built in, it's just not shown.
Yeah.
If you decide to do bonuses, it is something that can be easily absorbed.
Very well done. That's all I have to go on if you want to jump in.
We don't have, the breakout field. It's not in there.
Personnel.
Yeah,
I think she sent a separate email addendum to that.
I know, but it's not in any of what we received up here.
Yeah, I think didn't get that out till Monday, and I think she sent you a separate email for that. Did you print it? I can give you one if you need one. I got mine. Does that help you?
No. There's just one line item on there that I want to discuss.
Line item on
on the breakout employee. Hey,
all right. So I can get it as well.
Could I ask one more question? I'm sorry. The millage 3.3 is what we arrived at last meeting,
Yes, sir.
and that's captured.
Yes. So page,
I see it. I just want to make sure.
first page.
I know we're not to the road yet, but I was wondering, is the increased millages on the road budget actually accurate? Because I didn't think our revenue coming in for road tied back. I didn't think.
It does tie into millage.
Does it tie into?
Sean looked it up and that's the amount that it would increase.
Which was,
5,900. That's a smaller amount.
Thank you. That's all I have.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Here's
I
the
don't,
salary appendix. Let me open it.
I don't know just how far back it was now. 3, 4 months, maybe, when we talked about the positions, and you talked about bringing Jerry on at that time. And at that time, you said that it was part-time, it's an hourly deal, probably 18 hours when you were saying at the time that he would work. We were not, at the council at the time, in a position where we felt that that was a necessary position. We had discussion at that meeting. And in the end result, you made the comment to us that you don't really care what we are thinking, but that you are going to offer him the position the next day. Now we look at the breakout on salary. And you have them in there at $12,000 a year. I just don't see it. I'm still not in favor of the position. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, the amount that you have for position that we didn't really approve of. Okay. That I won't vote to approve the budget based on that timing. Of that item.
Are you finished?
Yes, I am, but this is up here right now.
I think I would like to respond, so. May I respond?
You may.
Yes.
Thank you. I think you may have your facts a little misconstrued there about how that came about. My memory of that meeting was Mr. Wright made the comment that the council would probably need to consider about some type of compensation for Jerry. And a conversation ensued from there where the mayor basically addressed Mr. Wright and said, we're working on some type of compensation package. I don't think there was any more of the conversation that went into the mayor said he was gonna do it anyway. I don't particularly remember that being part of that conversation. I think that was pretty much it, and we kind of left it the way it was. We looked at that position and basically said it would not be until 2026 budget, where you would actually have a way to input on it, and that's what we left it.
I understand.
And so from 2025, that position was a volunteer position and it still is today.
I understand that.
And I'm gonna respond at this time too. So let me respond to you, please. You've had your time. Let me respond. Okay, go ahead and respond to him.
I agree with everything that you said.
So basically you're not, your comment
Now,
you made earlier.
let me make my comment. I agree with everything that you just said. Okay, because the conversation about adding it and him gonna offer to you the next day, okay, was not at that meeting. It was at the meeting after that. That's,
That story kind of changed from that meeting to the next meeting. So which one was it?
I never said about that meeting. You brought up that meeting.
I only
And
remember one,
responding
I remember one
first.
conversation about it, and that was pretty much it.
So
I remember the
All right.
conversation that we had with the council, whenever this was first brought up and you wanted to appoint Jerry as chief of staff. It was, is this needed? You know, the council had some input and you pretty much said, don't care what you guys think, I'm gonna do this anyways. And it was just like that. I mean, John's interpretation at that meeting, that's how it happened. I don't support the 12. We just asked at the last meeting. Russell came here and asked us to vote to increase our property taxes by 55%. He's coming to us now and asking to pay you, a friend, a third of that revenue. I do not support that. But I want to make that clear. I don't think the position that you have is necessary. We haven't had it in the past. We didn't need it in the past. The job was getting done. I don't think that $12,000 is appropriate. I would rather see going to men who are putting their lives on the line for us, our police force. Let us increase their salaries if that's what we need to do. I don't think that money needs to go to Russell's friend. And to make this clear for the public, Jerry, you are living in his garage. So I think there's a huge conflict here.
Again, I'm gonna.
So I'm gonna say something. I think that's highly inappropriate for a council member to be voicing that at a public meeting. That a friend that I've had for 30 years is living in a guest house that I own because he's building a house. Let me finish. Birch was the one that recommended that Jerry at some point needs to get paid. He has been working for free for almost 3 years, doing work behind the scenes to get this city organized on our finances. We are in a better state now than we have ever been at the city. And we have more money that we are able to actually tangibly see and identify where it's at with asset lists and a balanced budget that we bring to you every time. And we've done a lot with this money. And Jerry didn't ask to be paid. This was a decision that Bert felt like we needed at some point to have him compensated. $12,000 a year for his services is dirt cheap. And I disagree with both of you. I think Jerry has brought a huge asset to this administration being available to help with lots of different things that I can't be there to do. I make $22,000 a year and I spend 20 to 30 hours a week working for the city. It's dirt cheap too, for me. And I'm not complaining. I'm saying you guys are complaining about stuff that you too are complaining about monetary things that have nothing to do with the function of what we are doing with that money. You're getting a bargain. And I'm just going to put it out there. And I'm just going to say this. Whatever personal issues you have with me hiring friends that do an amazing job, you bet I'm going to hire them. And I think that you're not intelligent if you don't.
I just want to say a couple of things. I did say that. For those that have ever put a P&L together or statement of operations together, the work that Jerry personally has done is, I mean, there's accountants that don't do that much work. But he has gotten us to a better place. That is not debatable. As a city council, to make it personal about a person is not appropriate, in my opinion. We are, as a city council, have fiduciary responsibility for the city. That has been delegated to the mayor and his team to come up and say, here's a balanced budget or not. That's where our level stops. If it's something illegal, immoral, and ethical, then yes, we can talk about that. But as far as the work that's being done, and to call out one line item out of a $1.3 million budget, it's not appropriate, in my opinion.
So I do want to address one thing that Colton did said about me being Russell's friend. Russell is also Colton's uncle. Colton's first job was with my company because he was Russell's nephew, and I hired him because Russell was my friend. Just want to throw that fact out there.
And that was your company that wasn't funded by taxpayers, Jim.
No different.
It is very.
I do want to clarify, Colton, your taxes did not go up by 55% because of a 0.2 or 0.3 millage increase.
I didn't say they went up by 55%.
You
I
just said that.
requested
You
the
did say
city
that.
property.
That's what you said.
Here last month and requested our city property tax go up by 55%. That is accurate. From 2.9 to 4.5 mils. That is what you wanted to do. And this council voted to increase it by 14%. Only me and John did not agree to increase property taxes for the community.
The millage increase percentage.
The
No,
millage,
it's not the dollar, it's the millage increase. It's very different, Colton.
it's a 55% increase. However you want to cut it.
You can't say it's a 55% increase.
It's not.
in tax.
You go
That's
from
not true.
2.9, you go from 2.9 mils to.
A raw number, sure it is. But dollar wise, that's not factual.
It's not factual.
Well, that's what we did. We came here last month, raised taxes, and now we're wanting to give Jerry $12,000.
You're not giving me anything, Colton. This is not coming from you. This is not like person. This is not a personal.
It is coming from the city. And
Okay,
I think that every line item needs to be reviewed.
Let me ask the citizens. Yeah, I want to ask the citizens that are here. Do any of the citizens that are here think that people that work for the city don't deserve to be paid? Do you think it is unreasonable?
Beginning, but you guys do a fantastic job on the budget that you have.
Does anybody think it's unreasonable in the public for someone who is a CPA that has his own firm and works for, how much do you charge an hour normally? For $3.25 an hour to put in 5 to 10 hours a week at the city and to get paid $12,000 a year? Does anybody think that's unreasonable?
This is petty and we need to move on.
Okay,
Another
There was a
update.
time that we couldn't even get roads graded or, gravel on the roads in the city. And we have gotten, what has happened to the city since Jerry and Russell been here? We have had improvement after improvement after improvement. We can afford to pay, because of Jerry, a $12,000 a year.
Another item is the increase for Chief Travis is only 1%, I think.
it's because Chief Travis wanted to give that added percentage to Jesse. That was his choice to give that added percentage to Jesse because he felt like he's been doing a lot of the work. Thank you, Jesse.
I think that we need to give an additional increase to Chief Travis. I don't think 1%'s enough. And our inflation.
I think just make random calls on what you think should give people without being part of the budget process, asking appropriate questions is probably not the best way to do that.
$12,000
All I can
Jerry,
say
1%
is that-
to our police chief.
I know that you have done a lot of work over the last 3 years. Okay. And it kept, every time someone said, oh, you're working for free, you're working for free. But you're not really working. You have a
So-
write-off.
I'd like to say something else. Back whenever we had another person in the city that was working Jerry's job, how many dollars did we pay overtime to her for doing what she was supposed to have been doing as far as the budget went? And we never had any money in the city. Now we're paying Jerry a measly amount of $12,000 a year to do and bring the city up to where it's at now. That's stupid.
And I understand y'all's opinions. Our job as a city council is to approve a line item for personnel salary. There's something the mayor and his team to decide for that. That's our fiduciary responsibility. If he came in here and said, we got a $500,000 deficit, we'd be sitting on the table saying, that's not gonna happen. We don't. I mean, you can advocate for whomever you want individually, but that's not your role as city council.
Well, I disagree. I think that is my role. I think that we need to look line item by line item, and whenever we see discrepancies, call those out. A 1% raise is not enough for a police chief. And I think that a lot of the community would agree with that.
And again, we offered to give Chief Travis a 3% raise like every other person, and Chief Travis said he wanted to give that other 2% to Jesse and only take 1%. We didn't make this decision just blindly on our own.
Aren't you giving other employees higher than 3% raises though?
We have 2 employees that we're trying to do a market adjustment because they are so far behind everybody. Just 2. And that's the 2 lowest paid employees in the city. Just like we did with the police officers, when we first took over, their salary appendix, looking at it, we had 2 police officers that were way behind everybody else. So we did a market adjustment for them. That is correct.
Travis thinks that Justin's doing a lot of work for the police department. Have you looked at the hours that Chief Travis has put in when his officers are out or when his officers are ill or at school? And
Yes,
the
we
amount of
have.
hours that Chief Travis puts in? Don't you
Absolutely.
think if Jesse's doing more work that he deserves an adequate raise? And that Chief Travis should also get an adequate raise based on the amount of work he's doing?
We were giving everybody 3% raises this year. And everybody that was getting a 3% raise, it's straight across the board for every employee. The only exceptions were the 2 that were at the very bottom of the city payroll. And now if the employees choose not to take that 3% and want to give it to one of their colleagues, I'm not going to prevent them from doing that. So that is why that's what's shown on the salary appendix. I'm not opposed to going back and giving Chief Travis an added 2% and getting back up to 3%. If you guys can tell us if you want us to do that. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I'm telling you that that's the way the decision came and that's how it was made. So,
We put this budget together for the council to consider, debate, and to vote on it. If you would like something else different, let us know. We'll go back and revise and bring it back. But let us know. But like Alderman Smith said, this is ridiculous to have this conversation like this.
it's really not what the council is supposed to do. This isn't the way a council is supposed to
We
work.
put together a budget with constraints that we work with, the revenue and expenses we have. And with the looking at the appropriate information for salaries, what people are, input from necessary people. We bring it to you to look at, ask questions and make a decision. Anything else is beyond that. So if you don't want to vote on the budget or you want to vote negative on it, do that. Do that, but let's stop this.
And in my opinion, if Chief Travis said do that for his subordinate
Yes.
officers, that's Chief Travis's decision.
That's
If the
right.
mayor's willing to do that,
Exactly.
That's right.
why? It's admirable.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think that we can do the right thing and bring them up.
I'm okay with that too.
Once again, I don't,
We did do that and he chose to allocate it to where he wanted to go.
I understand that, but I don't want Chief Travis at the end of the day left with a 1% raise.
So let's say we give him another 3% and he says, no, I want you to go ahead and give my other officer another 2%. I mean, you understand that this was his choice. It wasn't like we said, we don't want you to have this raise. I understand where you're coming from, but
No,
I am,
no,
you know-
there's no understanding where he's coming from that. That is his personal opinion, which if he doesn't want to vote for the budget, don't vote for it. We are here to present it. This is the budget we put together. This is with the input that we've gotten from everyone involved. If discuss it. If you don't want to vote for it, do not.
and I can tell you that the executive leadership team, which is me, Kashana, Jerry, and Chief Travis, we meet every month. We went through this budget line item by line item just this last month. So if you have any questions about who's reviewing it and how it's coming forward, that's how it's coming forward. Anything else before we move on?
It is.
Any other comments from the council?
I would like to make a comment because it's, and I'm sorry to rehash this. But Colton, when you continually bring up friend status, I would be hard pressed to find in a town of 2,000 plus people for a man that has grown up in this area that not, majority of them are his friends.
Absolutely.
Living in your garage.
Agreed.
He needs a roof over his head.
I don't just live there, I actually pay for my. I know.
Ms. Councilman Martin, this is inappropriate and we are moving on. Point of order. We're gonna move on to the new city business planning area and subdivision moratorium update. So the update is that they're gonna be having a hearing on December the 4th. That's when they're bringing the new plans, because they are doing a revision of that. At the quorum fort. Yep. I did give the resolution that we had passed to Judge Deakins, and they were also given, the Washington County Planning Commission was also given a copy of that resolution to review as well.
we don't talk about hearing.
I don't know what time the quorum court starts, and when they're gonna actually have the December 4th. And it should be, all of the updated plans should be on their website by November 26th or 28th. I think it's the 26th in preparation for that. So you'll be able to download all of the updated documents.
So very fun for the public that wasn't here last time to explain.
So there's a subdivision called Eagle Crest that's being planned at the top of Blue Springs Road, just outside the city limits in the old Goshen planning area. There's supposed to be 90+ homes built on 98 acres in there, 100 acres it's right at. And the concern is that A, they're all gonna be on septic, B, we don't know where the Fayetteville's gonna be able to deliver the water, and then also the impact it's gonna have on Blue Springs Road and our traffic congestion in and out of Goshen. So
Egress on top of that deal.
And some of the plans were misrepresented. I understand.
they were, yeah, so the plans were misrepresented, and part of the concern is that the county doesn't have independent engineers looking at those plans. So they basically look at whatever the engineers present, the ones that have designed and pulled all the plans together for the subdivision. And so we basically said we wanted the county to do a moratorium until such time they could have independent engineer go through those subdivision documents to make sure it's all accurate. And I don't know if they do or if they will, but that's our request. So.
There's no planning commission, there's no building inspector, there's no.
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope.
So.
Yep.
Right. There's also part of that subdivision, falls into the Fayetteville school.
It does. Part of it does. Part of it's Fayetteville, part of it's Springdale. There's a question in the audience, Bernadette.
You're talking about Blue Springs, correct?
Correct.
Any council members, families involved in the building of this development?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I believe it's an outfit out of San Antonio, best I can.
Yeah.
No, not
No.
me.
Not
No.
this one.
Nope.
Not on any article.
No. And I know that they are in the redesign is part of it's the egress ingress because of the speed limit through there is 50 miles an hour and they initially said it was 30 or 35. And so they're looking at reducing the number of entrance points in and out of the subdivision. But as far as the redesign, I don't know how it's gonna
I
look.
also said that Goshen was gonna extend a road for them.
No, so what they said was there were gonna be improvements to Blue Springs Road. And the way they worded it made it sound like Goshen was improving Blue Springs and the county was improving Blue Springs. What they meant was they're gonna improve the area right in front of the subdivision.
That's not what they said.
It's not what they said, but that's how they represented that, oh, there's gonna be all these improvements to Blue Springs Road, like Goshen's going in and widening Blue Springs Road and
All
the
the
county's widening it.
Exactly.
But that was not accurate. So a lot of misrepresentation. Yep, Burnett.
Any consideration for putting a light at the intersection?
So we did that last year. So we had a traffic study done by RDOT last year to try to evaluate whether we would be eligible to get a stoplight there. We didn't qualify for RDOT to allow us to get the stoplight because there wasn't quite enough traffic through there. If that goes through, we will definitely have enough traffic to be able to get a stoplight there. But remember, that is a cost to the city as well. So you're looking at $350,000 to $450,000 for the stoplight to go in, and then maintenance costs of the stoplight is ongoing. So that'd be something that would be a recurring revolving expenditure that the city would incur.
How did they do that study? Because I don't remember there ever being counters.
There
on the
were,
Highway.
there were counters that they put up for, and I think it was a week they put them up.
Can we designate when those counters go up? Cause like, can we ask for the counts to be done like on Bikes, Blues and Barbecue or something?
The count was only off a few hundred cars.
That's why, that's exactly my point. If we can designate when that is, we know when the peak times are.
We'd be hard pressed to try to get a specific time that they would put them out there for us. All right, move on to the next item on the new city business, Sunday alcohol sales update. The update is we need to get signatures for next year because we can't get it on the ballot for this year.
The question about that. So this is just for alcohol sales from stores. Not for alcohol. Do we allow alcohol sales from our restaurant on Sunday as it's now?
They're not open on.
I know they're not open on Sunday, but if they decided to open on Sunday,
I'm gonna answer that.
because I would rather do this all at once and allow, sales in restaurants on Sunday if somebody decides to open up a restaurant and have alcohol on
I
Sunday.
don't think we control that. That's
That's not
the,
one.
that's the
That's the
ABC
ABC.
that controls that.
So-
We just control Sunday package sales.
Package sales.
So they're.
They would have to apply to ABC, whatever business would have to apply to
Yeah,
ABC.
this is for off premises consumption.
Okay.
Which is separate and apart.
I just wanted to make sure we,
And it's only for beer and wine. But
I don't know. That's all we said, that's all that's sold here.
yeah, but I mean, there's two separate licenses.
Yeah, we don't regulate that. This is just authorizing sales on Sunday.
So if we did get a liquor store in the
They-
future,
And
then
this
they
was,
would be able
they
to
would be able to
sell
sell
on
on Sunday.
Sunday.
The license that the
Okay,
state
then-
issues governs what they can sell.
Okay.
So it would have to be for next year for the vote in the primary.
November.
Yeah, for next year. I mean, you can definitely get all the signatures, right, Birch, by then?
Well, I've got people texting me, bring it forward.
I have the forms here.
put a clipboard by the punch button.
So we do have the forms. All right, the next item on the agenda is gonna be the resolution to appoint a new zoning official. You guys should see that.
They'll sign the
Copy of it.
But they won't vote.
That's the sell.
Right?
It was late. So in,
Yeah, I know, I saw it.
so with Lacey's termination, there's no longer, I'm the de facto zoning official. And so I'm proposing that we let Abby, Brian become
It's
the
not it.
current zoning official with this resolution.
So what is the requirement for a zoning official? You have to have one by resolution?
Yeah, because if you guys remember, when I took office, Alicia Willis was the zoning official for a short term. And then when Lacey hired on, Lacey became the zoning official. And in the event that you lose your zoning official, the mayor becomes the zoning official until such someone's appointed by resolution. So,
Well, maybe we need to have this other conversation before we have this conversation. With any Colton added to the agenda.
we can do that.
And I'll just say for Lacey, she did an immense amount of work for what, did a great job. So that said, I understand we have to have a resolution, we have to have a resolution to have that function. But maybe it's, I don't know more than maybe about that, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know more than the email that I got. I was hoping that we could discuss what happened.
Yeah, that's why we wanted to have, the executive session, because even on that sheet, that was mentioned at the bottom. That we would have to discuss it in executive session.
The email that was sent to us.
The Russell sent.
But Brian's point is, since action was already taken, executive session is not the appropriate.
That's great.
I understand.
And I'm just gonna jump in. I have not been privy to any conversations with Lacey when all this played out. It was relayed to me that a comment was made that this may result in a lawsuit of some sort or some legal claim. Obviously, my role is the attorney for the city, advising you all. I'm here to protect the city. Anytime I hear that that may happen, just like I would with any client, is advised that you all don't discuss any of that. If a lawsuit were to come about, there's proper ways when things are discussed. It's done through discovery, whether it's depositions, written discovery, whatever the case may be. But it's a lot more controlled from an attorney standpoint, doing it in that manner versus just open conversation. So I'm here to advise you all. Certainly you all can discuss whatever you want to. But given what was provided to me information wise, I've talked to the mayor, I've advised the same, and I'm telling you all the same that I told him.
I think that just puts us in a difficult position. 'Cause I thought.
May I say something, please?
This is not, at this time, it's up to the council, but we have got 2 minutes for public comment. If you want to come up and make a comment.
You guys know me, my name's Lacey Lawson, I am the former zoning official for the city of Goshen. First of all, I want to say what an honor it was to work for the city of Goshen. Working with the citizens, Dan, I worked with you personally. Dan, I worked with you personally. JD, awesome. Jesse, working with the police department, being able to take on an auxiliary police department role and to be able to do that, working in the council. I've absolutely enjoyed my time with Goshen. My time in the office though, it's been documented for the past year, has been quite stressful. Councilman, I've talked to you guys about it. I've talked to the police department about it. I do feel that I was wrongfully terminated. And I will be going and seeking legal advice. Where that goes, I don't know. But my job with the city, Arch, I worked with you in Waterford Estates and working with you and was amazing. I've gotten so much positive feedback from council, from citizens that have reached out to me since I've been fired. And I honestly am completely overwhelmed by the amount of support that I have in Goshen. And that's really what I came here to say. So thank you. I really, really appreciate everything and all of the feedback that I've gotten from everybody. It's been awesome.
I mean, I thought Lacey was grade A, and I don't know what went on. I don't know if we should discuss it. I don't. I'd like to see her stay on. I'm just putting that out there. I don't know if there's other councilors that feel strongly enough to do the same. I'd like to see us create a position under council and serve advice. I suppose that looks like, I don't know. I think that would be our only option. And I think we should get this, what you doing. Just based on my experience with Lacey, I'm shocked that it was terminated. I don't think that it was justified. But I don't know what happened, so.
I would say the same thing, that you're saying, Bolton. Okay? I've always had very good responses from him. He's always got me what I was asking for when I asked for. And I can't say that the firing or the termination was justified, because I really don't know from the email that was sent to us by the mayor, advising us of the termination. It really doesn't say anything. It just says that she was terminated. Basically.
Some public comment.
I was just wondering, this is a question for Mr. Holt, but in the event that this was just stated, possible lawsuit, is it safe for the councilman to be speaking right now?
I've already advised the council not to discuss it.
Right. Do you
That's all
understand?
Bernadette, that's all I can do is advise.
Do you guys understand what you're doing? Colton?
You can do what's legally right and you can do what's right.
I think Mr. Hoag has the law degree here, so I think you need to heed his advice.
I understand.
I know you won't listen to anyone, trust me. We've observed that for many years already.
I appreciate
It's,
that.
it's time to stop, Colton. Grow up.
Thank you, Bernadette.
Is it really the city council's responsibility to get involved in personnel agents?
It's not, well, the council has the ability to be informed, and by ordinance, the council requested shortly after this mayor took office to be informed prior to any hiring or termination. But the decision lies with the mayor, in all of those issues. As I said earlier, if there was a, desire by the mayor to discipline an employee, take some action employment related, but it hadn't happened yet, the council could be informed through an executive session as might be appropriate, but the council does not have any decision-making authority on those issues as it sits today. There were discussions after the mayor took office about you all taking control of the hiring and firing, which can be done if you all decided to do that. But I think everybody expressed a desire at that time that you all did not want to be involved in the day-to-day running of City Hall. But that would be the only way to take
I think that,
control of that.
as I recall, you were correct. But we did ask to be informed
Which the mayor has met that obligation.
prior to terminating something.
As I understand it, John, the mayor has met the obligations that are set in the ordinance. I do recognize that there's not a lot of information in that there's not required to be.
When was the email sent out to council that I was let go?
I wouldn't answer that this time.
To answer your question, as I understand it, the ordinance that you all adopted has been interested.
Specific to the position that Lacey previously held, you're now wanting to, move Abby into that entire role, correct?
No. We are moving Abby into zoning official.
So that position that is vacated.
We'll be posting a position.
Okay.
We'll be posting for applications.
That has to be.
And we may be bringing another resolution to have somebody else appointed as zoning official if we have somebody hired into that position. But to keep me from having to be the zoning official between now and that time, Abby would be the interim zoning official.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's on that site. If it was up to me, I would have Lacey back working for the city. It's a loss. But she's gone knowledgeable. She worked well. She did this community. But I hate to see you go, Lacey.
Thank you, both.
If you want to move on to the resolution this time.
Please do.
You want to make a motion?
You gotta make a motion to read it and. I don't know.
Resolution?
Yes.
Okay, motion to read resolution and title only.
Got a second? If there's no second, I guess we will not move forward with the resolution. I will be there. Zoning. All right, anything else in the old business? or new business, sorry. Yes. Any other reports, comments by Alderman? Board treasurer?
We said earlier with Happy Veterans Day. Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day.
Absolutely.
Do you have any project updates?
We do, so we, significantly must updates, I think what we already talked about, the bids are gonna go out, meeting with the LL. The final drawings are all finished with the pavilion. The RDOT project is continuing forward. They had some delays because waiting on the bridge. So that project still will be moving forward. I don't think there's any other updates on any other projects going on. Oh, the Sunday alcohol sales is gonna be for next year. The culverts, they've done, I think all the culverts so far on Fire Tower are finished from M&M. They're working on the culverts on Hale, then I think they're going to Wyman and Sharp. And so that should get the culvert stakes, the 15 that we've identified for that contract. That's all I have for project updates. Oh, the building, the shop building is coming along really well. It's good.
Got lots of good fixed.
Yeah. I saw that yesterday.
The salt building too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the salt. So the salt storage building, we did line the inside of it with marine grade plywood so that we wouldn't have that salt getting into the metal. And so that was done over the last couple of weeks, actually. And we did have some conduit pulled. Michael came and did conduit so that we could put electric in there because it is really difficult to see at night trying to load the salt out there with no lights. And so with this new shop, we're going to be able to tie into the electric from it and then put electric lighting in that shop. I mean, in that salt storage building. So it'll be a big help. Thank you, Mike, for reminding me of that. All right. Any public input? Any other public comment? Before we, yep.
Got to walk over there.
Oh, you can say it from there.
I don't know if any of you remember, but I also was a zoning official. And when I quit from the city of Goshen, it was handed back to Laura, and Laura did not have any qualifications either. It's just a matter of paperwork. That's all it is.
Any public comment before we adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so adjourn.
Oh, it's really nice.